Before the Autobots, before the Decepticons, before the war, there were 13. Their god built them to kill another god, and one of them betrayed all the rest. Primus. Start with the one who made them, because none of this makes sense without him. Primus is not a robot. He is a god, the living soul of the planet Cybertron itself, and the fans in the comments will correct anyone who forgets it. He was born when a single cosmic being called the One split in two. Primus became the god of life and creation. His twin became Unicron, the god of death, a planet-eating monster who devours everything. The two of them are locked in a war older than time. And when Primus realized he could not beat Unicron alone, he did the only thing a god of creation can do. He made children, 13 of them. The first Transformers who ever existed, each one a Prime, each one carrying a fragment of Primus's own power. But there is a catch that runs through the whole story. To build them, Primus had to draw on the raw material of the universe, which meant a sliver of Unicron's darkness ended up inside them too. His 13 children were made to stop a god, and every one of them carried the seed of the very evil they were built to fight. Stop Unicron, or die trying, with the enemy already living somewhere inside you. Primus made the 13 to win a war. This first one was made to lead them, Prima. Prima is the eldest, the first Prime Primus ever created, and the template for every leader who came after. He carries the Star Saber, a blade of pure light forged for him, and a shield that can turn away almost any attack. If Optimus Prime feels like the definition of a noble leader, it is because he is standing in a shadow cast 13 bodies ago. Prima was the warrior at the front, the one who held the line against Unicron when the fighting started, and the first to carry the title of Prime at all. Some believe the very word Prime comes from his name. He is the original in every sense. Every Prime who ever raised a sword for a good cause is, in some way, just trying to live up to him. Prima led with a blade. This next one built the blade and every other weapon that mattered, Solus Prime. Solus is the maker. She is the master craftsman of the 13. The first female Transformer ever created, and the one who forged almost every legendary weapon in the entire mythology. Prima's Star Saber, Megatronus's Requiem Blaster, the matrix of leadership itself. She built them all with her forge, a hammer so powerful it can shape almost anything from raw material. The single most important creative tool in the mythology. Every female Transformer who came after, every Arcee and Elida, is modeled on her template. She is where they all begin. And here is the tragedy the fans never forget. The maker of every great weapon would eventually be killed by one, struck down by one of her own brothers in a moment that shattered the 13 forever. Solus built the weapons. These next ones built reality itself. The Cosmic Primes. Some of the 13 were less like soldiers and more like forces of nature. Vector Prime is the keeper of time and space, able to step between dimensions and watch the timeline itself. An ancient guardian who exists slightly outside the normal flow of the universe. Alpha Trion holds the Quill and the Covenant, a record of everything that has happened and everything that will, and he can write the future with it. Nexus Prime is the first combiner, a prime made of separate bodies that split apart and merge back together. And Alchemist Prime saw the deepest structure of the natural world, the elements themselves, through his lenses. These four are not really fighters. They are the load-bearing pillars holding up how the entire Transformers universe works. Time, fate, combination, and matter, each one handed to a different child of a god. Those primes shaped the universe. This next group shaped life inside it. The creators. Primus made the 13, but some of the 13 went on to make life of their own. Quintus Prime used his Emberstone to create whole new species, and in one of the great dark ironies of the mythology, his creations became the Quintessons, the five-faced slavers who would one day try to enslave all Transformers. Onyx Prime was the first beast, the ancestor of every animal Transformer from the Dinobots to the Maximals. And Micronus Prime, the smallest of them all, was the first minicon able to link with his siblings and amplify their power. The comments love him for a reason. The tiniest Prime is the one who made the minicon race that fans have adored for decades. Every Prime so far had a clear role. These next two were built to be complicated. The tricksters. Not every Prime fought on the front line or forged a weapon. Amalgamous Prime is the joker of the group. The first shapeshifter, the one whose very existence gave every transformer the ability to transform at all. Without him, there is no changing shape, which means without him there are no transformers, only robots. And then there is Liege Maximo, and he is a problem on purpose. Primus built him to be the shadow, the schemer, the dark counterbalance to all that light. Liege Maximo is manipulation given a body. The ancestor of every silver-tongued villain who ever talked a hero into a trap. He plotted against his own family for power, and eventually left Cybertron entirely to spread his influence. He was, in a sense, designed to betray, which is the great twist, because he is not the one who actually did it. Liege Maximo was built to be the traitor. The bot who actually became one was the last bot anyone suspected, Megatronus. Megatronus is one of the original 13, a hero, one of Primus's own children, and his name should tell you exactly how this ends. He was a warrior of raw, staggering power, wielder of the Requiem blaster, respected and even loved by his siblings. And then he fell. In most tellings, it was Megatronus who killed Solus Prime, the Maker, in a fit of rage or manipulation, and that single act broke the 13 apart forever. He turned on his family, turned on Primus, and became the first true villain in all of Transformers history, the dark god later known as the Fallen. In the recent film Transformers 1, fans finally got to see a version of Megatronus who stayed heroic, which is exactly why the comments treasure it. It is the one timeline where the first traitor never fell. Millions of years later, a miner would take the name Megatron in tribute to him, never fully understanding that he was naming himself after the god who murdered his own sister. The greatest betrayal in the franchise did not come from a Decepticon, it came from a Prime. 12 Primes accounted for, named, placed, remembered. But Primus made 13. The 13th Prime. Here is the mystery the fans argue about more than anything else. The 13th Prime is barely described at all. In much of the mythology, he is deliberately left blank, unnamed, hidden. And the theory the comments love most is that this was on purpose, that Primus built a final Prime and then deliberately let him vanish into the ranks of ordinary Transformers. Not lost, hidden. A contingency plan, a secret weapon buried in plain sight, waiting in disguise until the moment his kind needed him most. The most powerful being Primus ever made, choosing to be forgotten so that no enemy would ever come looking for him. Some stories quietly suggest that the 13th Prime, the one who disappeared and was reborn again and again across the ages, is a spark you already know. That the last of Primus's original children, the hidden one, is the same soul that keeps coming back as Optimus Prime. 13 were made to stop a god. 12 are history. And the last one may still be walking around wearing a face you would recognize anywhere.